boxing video. I want to talk about the great Rocky Marciano, one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, maybe top 10. I say that very respectfully. I think he was fantastic, but I think that because of his undefeated record, he has gotten overrated. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. People bring up 49-0. They always bring that up. Oh, he was 49-0. He never lost a heavyweight fight. Never lost a fight. First and foremost, the guy had 7 championship wins. He beat an old Joe Walcott. Still very good, but older Joe Walcott, older Ezra Charles. He got dropped by both guys. An older Joe Louis. Maybe a few other contenders. Then he retired unexpectedly, which had never been done before for a guy to retire while he was still on top in the heavyweight division. And the myth of him grew, because at the time, no one was saying that he was the greatest heavyweight of all time. They were saying Joe Louis was the greatest heavyweight of all time, or maybe even Jack Dempsey or Jack Johnson. They weren't saying Rocky Marciano was the greatest of all time. And go look at any of these lists from back then, or even now. They very rarely on a historical list will they put him at the number 1 all time on the list. But now his legend has grown because he's undefeated. And I'm going to tell you why he's overrated. Imagine if Mike Tyson, after the Michael Spinks fight, said, you know what? I'm done. I'm going to retire. And he retired at that point in time. Everyone would say he's the greatest heavyweight of all time because he retired before he had a chance to be proven to not be invincible. And the way Mike was beating guys back then was way more dominant than Rocky Marciano. He would have been considered better than everyone, better than Lewis, Ali, Marciano. No one would even become close to claiming that throne from Mike Tyson, the allure that he had. So Rocky Marciano, he went 49-0. Larry Holmes was 48-0. So if Larry would have fought 2 easy fights and gone 50-0, would he have been considered better than Rocky Marciano? Is that what you're telling me? If Tyson Fury or Usyk, if they retire now, are they the best also, like Rocky Marciano is? Everyone's undefeated until you lose. And Rocky Marciano, he didn't fight long enough to fight enough styles where he would eventually lose. So Rocky Marciano is a tremendous heavyweight. He got into boxing late. Massive overachiever. As Emanuel Stewart said, here was a guy who was 195 pounds. And that's what he was. You know, that's what a heavyweight was back in those days, was 195 pounds. He wasn't, the thing is though, usually the smaller guys, because at times he was the shorter guy, they're faster than the bigger guys. He wasn't even that fast. His balance wasn't that good. His coordination wasn't that good. But you know what he had? He had the heart, he had the power, that overhand right, Susie Q. And at that time, he was probably the biggest puncher in the history of heavyweight boxing, in boxing history. I mean, he was an animal, great stamina. He had a good chin, great recovery ability. Guy was never tired. The guy was just an ultimate maximizer, and that's why people regard him so highly. People love him so much. People like Teddy Atlas, they always talk about his heart, because a lot of people, they bring up the fact that he was undefeated. But as Mike Tyson said, people don't realize the guy was undefeated, but he had to get his ass beat to get that. Oh, he had to get out the canvas many times and fight to the very end. So people think it was all peaches and cream and he was just cruising and winning every fight, but it wasn't the case. But for me, Rocky Marciano gets a little bit overrated by a lot of the people just because of the fact that he's undefeated. Because to me, undefeated is not the most important thing. The most important thing is fighting top opposition, improving yourself. And Marciano did that a little bit, but he didn't do that as much as Joe Louis, Muhammad Ali, Larry Holmes, a lot of these guys, Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis, so on and so on. So that's for me why I think Rocky Marciano is overrated. Once again, I want to be clear. Overrated does not mean bad or not great. It just means higher perception of that person than should be. Let me know what you guys think. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Peace.